Can we talk a little bit about the political season? You mentioned it is that time of year. It is the silly season, so to speak. Yesterday, Hillary was on Meet the Press, and she talked about this drip, drip, drip that's been coming from the email servers. Obviously, this is something that has affected her favorability numbers, which I think are at the lowest levels that they've been since 1992 at this point. They are outweighing her.
That's what they were designed to do.
But that's where we watch this happen.
They were successful. I congratulate all the people that were behind it. That's what they wanted them to do.
But you have built up a pretty thick skin over the years. I just wonder, watching this with your spouse of 40 years, how do you feel about it?
It really is similar to the strategy that the Republicans employed against me with Whitewater. They look at the field and they say, who do we not want to run against? And then they dribble out stuff and they attack. I mean, I think it's quite interesting that, for example, this email story is viewed as more newsworthy, even though it is undisputed by anyone that she was permitted to do what she did, that when the State Department asked the former secretaries of state to give them more information if they had it, she's the only one that gave them anything, that she's the first Secretary of State in history to ask that her emails for ordinary business work be made public, that she agreed to testify before this congressional committee only when they said she could testify in public, that all of her senior aides asked to testify in public. They were denied that. Then they said, would please make our testimony public. They were denied that. And that these emails are worth more publicity than the fact that this is the 8th, for the first time in American history, ever, this is the 8th congressional committee, all chaired by Republicans, to look into Benghazi. The first 7 said she didn't do anything wrong. So the 8th one has now been going on longer than the congressional inquiry into Pearl Harbor. And it's spent about $4 million. And so they obviously had to change the subject, since they're also going to find out she didn't do anything wrong. Now, also, we're allegedly concerned about the security of American documents when every day there are leaks about these coming out from these people, breathlessly published in the press, who says they're concerned about the security of the documents. It is obvious to anyone who's looking what's going on. But I'm glad it happened in 2015 instead of 2016. And I believe it will burn itself out. What the American people have to think of is this. A few months ago, she was still the most admired person in public life in America. Why? Because she was covered because of the work she did. She'd been around a long time. People knew that she's on the level. She gets up every day and tries to do a good job. Then all of a sudden, the only thing that matters is emails. What exactly does it matter? Emails about which she's been transparent, disclosing, asked for more disclosure than she's gotten. How did this happen? Because the people telling them about it believe that's way more important than reminding them that this is the 8th committee to look into Benghazi. It's the first time in American history this has been done, that this committee has been dribbling out information but won't let anybody testify in public. So the disclosure problems are not on her, they're on other people. And I trust the American people. They'll get this. They'll work through it. They'll understand that they're being sent a heavy signal. We don't want to run against this woman. Just give us somebody else, please. And so they think that the Democratic primary voters will be so overwhelmed, they'll say, okay. Or if they don't, she'll be hurt. I just trust the American people, I think. Maybe it's just because I'm a goofy, happy grandfather now. But, you know, my life turned out pretty well, just trusting the innate sense of fairness and decency of the American voters. It's impossible for people to make decisions about facts they don't have, and it's impossible for them to know on a daily basis what creative non-disclosure is being practiced by the people who are shoving information at them. But in the end, they will get it right. I just trust them, and I feel good about it.
Let's talk about somebody